Uh, so this Big Brothers, I hope all of you have done, right? So let me hear from you what you have written about the marketing research problem. The summary of this case is not required because this case itself is very short, right? We know there is a problem in a particular county, Fairfax County, regarding the Big Brothers program. The number of calls from volunteers they are receiving are far too less, and the registrations are even lesser, and there were certain probable causes given, right? If you look here, Big Brothers of Fairfax County believed that a lack of awareness and accurate knowledge could be the cause, and then they are expanding on this. Are there men who would only volunteer if only they were made aware of the program and its need? Or is it the difficulty, a negative image? Do people think of little brothers are problem children, boys who have been in trouble with the law, or who have severe behavioral problems, which is related to the negative image of the program, or the problem children? Or could there be a misconception of the type of man? Do people have stereotypes with respect to volunteers? Right. So what can be the marketing research problem? First we have to discuss what is the management decision problem.
The lack of
Increase the volunteer.
Okay, those who have quickly come in can quickly tell me what is the management decision problem in Big Brother's case.
they believe that there is a lack of awareness and
Management decision problem. The issue which management is facing here.
Less number of volunteers. The number of volunteers.
Can you state it correctly?
What should be done to improve the shortage?
Very good. So one of the ways is to say what should be done to increase the shortage. No, sorry, improve the increase the shortage. No. What should be done to improve the number of registrations, or one could say what should be done to improve the number of calls and registrations from calls, attendees and registration from, right? So one can become more and more clear. If you see management decision problem, what should be done to increase the, let's say, calls, attendees to the seminar and registration? We are talking about an outcome which can be measured. So management would look an outcome that can be symptom which is stated as an outcome which can be measured. Now what will be the marketing research problem given all that?
Assuming that the probable cause is what is stated, I mean assuming the first
Right.
of that, then we could have two aspects of it. One is determine the level and type of awareness prevalent in the public,
Very good.
and especially amidst likely and ideal volunteers
Right.
for the Big Brother program, and that would have components. The second dimension would be what
Second problem or dimension? Yeah.
Second
Be
problem.
very precise.
The second problem would be what is the image of the program and its participants among, again, likely and ideal men who would be ideal for the program.
Okay, what is your name? Nivedita.
So can we say that there can be 4 different marketing research problems depending on the 4 different problems mentioned?
That can also be done.
So we can also say that we have to the marketing research problems can include that assessing the perception of the program to the among the families of the little brothers, among to the prospective volunteers, and among to the society as a whole.
See, problem is it is a good attempt again. See, the problem is we need to keep the research limited to an audience which is, let's say, the ones volunteers or the population, the audience, the population of volunteers, and let's say the big brothers, the little brothers who are waiting to be matched. Society, when we go, it becomes too broad of an audience. So what she said, Nivedita, it was nearly right. One could actually state it as a multiple problems. One could also state it as a single problem. Can we have a little round of applause for Nivedita? Okay, so anybody else who would like to contribute or contradict with what she said? It is possible, contradictions are possible. Anybody who would like to contribute to what she said, add to what she said, or contradict to what she said?
Maybe we can start by taking the easiest set at hand. Those are already enrolled into the program. The families of the
But what would be the marketing research problem? You are talking about who all you can talk to.
As I think the perception of little brothers, which they think to be troublesome, is really true or not.
That is correct. So one is perception. Perception we would require to. Yes, tell me.
Sir, first you have to identify the target before the program.
Yeah, we need to also have the knowledge of the target group for the program, the kind of the volunteers. Anything is given in the case about the volunteers from the Fairfax County side. They are responsible adults, right? So which means you have a population 18 plus onwards, or even one can look at little up a little higher of the age, and there is no other thing given regarding the volunteers. So one of the ways which I have done is, so instead of writing multiple problems, multiple marketing research problems, I have put in the same marketing research problem. Determine the awareness, knowledge, feelings and behavioral intentions of adult male population in Fairfax County about the Big Brothers program. So here what all comes? Awareness, knowledge, feelings. One could also write image in addition to all this, and behavioral intentions. So why I have written all this? Because we know there is a model A, I, D, A. Even if you do not look at this model, let's say we do not know this model, we can look at the probable cause. There was a problem of awareness, knowledge, what people feel about participating in the program, the image, and what are their behavioral intentions. Sometime people would be having awareness, knowledge, right knowledge, but they would not be available because of their daily errands. So this is one of the ways to write it, and then one can further break it into components.
I have one. In the case study itself, it had mentioned that whatever marketing efforts they had taken, it was only for the call of volunteers, but it was not anything about discussing in detail about what the program is itself. So wouldn't that be a marketing research problem? And determining the effectiveness of the marketing campaign.
If you look at the case, they have mentioned about the probable cause, right? So let's say if the probable cause would have been, because there is some bit of qualitative research which is done already, and it has been stated that it is the awareness, knowledge, feeling, image of the program. That is the qualitative research which is done. Now, it is correct that it has not been validated, or the convergence on this has not come from others because the data is not given. But assuming that this is the probable cause, we have proceeded with defining in this way. Suppose there would have been convergence around the effectiveness of the campaign, then we would have looked at that. Another thing which we were discussing was Kellogg's. So let me talk about, there were statements given about from the qualitative research, from the 4 steps for getting to the marketing research problem from management decision problem. The statements were, the current products are targeted to kids, bagels and muffins, they are winning for breakfast food. Sorry? For kids, bagels and muffins. Can somebody say what is the exact statement? Bagels and muffins. Said bagels and muffins were winning for favorite breakfast foods. Then what is the next line?
High prices were turning consumers to generic brands.
High prices were turning away the customers to generic brands. What is the next one?
Some other information also came to light during the research.
What is that?
Others want quick foods that require very little or no preparation.
Okay. So there were several issues. Now you have to tell me what are the problem, or what is the problem being written. So if Kellogg's comes to you with this issue, you are the consultant. You have to define the marketing research problem. What will you write? There is, please feel free to share, because there is nothing right and wrong.
Determine the right target group.
Okay.
You have to find the reasons why bagels and muffins are preferred over cereal. Like, is there any particular taste or appeal from that which can be replicated to cereal? You have to find why that is being preferred.
Okay, that could be one of the ways.
They have to rework on their brand image. They have many different products. It's not kids centric. But if you toss a Kellogg's, the first thing that comes is kids food or kids related food. So if we want to cater to adults, we have to, rework on the brand image that we have of Kellogg, different promotional activities.
So maybe we can first determine.
What is the marketing research problem? So he is saying we need to do research about bagels and muffins, that what is there in them that people are going for that. Is it the right problem? Then second one, she is saying the brand image. Should we change? Is it about the image?
Then how to improve the sales of Kellogg?
That is the management decision problem.
So other substitutes that have come into the pictures now at times.
What is written as the probable cause?
High price.
One is high price. So we can write one problem as determine the price elasticity of demand for Kellogg as compared to whatever they have written, generic brands, right? Or determine the price elasticity of demand of Kellogg's, because we cannot determine the price elasticity of demand for Kellogg cereals for their target market.
So why price elasticity? Can't we just say compare for that alone, compare with Kellogg's and the competitor brand, the pricing policy? Why elasticity?
Yeah, when it is, yes, when it is said that price elasticity of demand for Kellogg's and see, one is that you will be able to see with the changes whether the sales will increase or decrease, right? Now you have a point that the competitor, it is written that people are turning to generic brands. So one could also say determine and compare the price of Kellogg's with respect to generic brands. Now this is already known that price is a factor, right? So one thing one could generally write is determine the price elasticity of demand for Kellogg's, because when you write the price elasticity of demand, you are talking about changing the price with respect to whatever generic brands are there, and therefore the sales will change accordingly. So you will get your answer. When you focus on high prices are turning away people, the consumers, towards generic brands, which means one of the probable cause could be price. Now you have to put the marketing research problem for price. What will you put?
Product value is not conveyed properly by distributors and retailers.
Is that written that product value is not communicated by distributors and retailers? Just it is given the price is moving away. One could write, determine the appropriate price at which the customer would not switch, the appropriate price with which customer would not turn to generic brands, or determine the price elasticity of demand for Kellogg's, or determine and compare the, you cannot say compare the Kellogg's and generic brands at various price points, because generic brands, you can do an experiment by varying the price of the generic brands and Kellogg's and see when the sales are more for Kellogg's. So one is you have to define the marketing research problem around the price.
So can you write it like what is the perception of customers towards the price of Kellogg's compared to competing brands?
Yeah, so what she is saying, determine the price perception of Kellogg cereals as compared to the generic brands. Now this will give an answer whether price is a probable cause. It will confirm the probable cause, but it will not give solution. It will not give an answer to what should be the price. It will not solve it. So it will be half a thing. So yes, so in the marketing research problem, one could state that determine the price elasticity of demand of Kellogg's. And once you write this in the component, one could also write determine the perception of Kellogg's, the price perception for Kellogg cereals as compared to the generic brand. So that will confirm, and then elasticity you can put in the other components to see, which could help you actually answer the other part. What would be the appropriate price?
Instead of restricting to Kellogg's, if we like do the determine the price elasticity of
But you have a good point that price elasticity of demand of Kellogg's, will it be enough? Because you need to also look at the competitors. So one could also actually add one word about the competitors in the marketing research problem. Yeah.
So can we then write the determine price elasticity of breakfast foods in general, or for breakfast food for kids?
See, there are three, four different statements given about different probable causes. So one has to frame in this case different marketing research problems. One is the issue about the price. The other is the issue about
The target.
The change in preferences for the target audience.
bagels and muffins are winning for breakfast foods, right? Determine and compare bagels and muffins with respect to other popular, determine and compare the, not the, determine and compare the attitude, feelings, behavioral intentions towards bagels and muffins as compared to other favorite breakfast foods. One could also even state that determine the relative preference and reasons for the same for bagels and muffins as breakfast food versus the Kellogg cereals. So one could also write that. So there are multiple issues and independent issues. So one has to state multiple marketing research problems. So there was one statement about that adults are wanting to consume quick foods that can be quickly prepared. So can you write a marketing research problem for that particular statement, which is again independent from the other statements?
Determine the consumer preference and purchase intentions for the quick foods.
Yeah, so this came as a again as a probable thing. So you have to confirm it, you can determine the perception. It becomes a very determine the attitude and behavior of the adults towards quick foods, let's say, as compared to Kellogg's. Correct, that is also a quick food. Cereals are also a quick food, but here the point which they are saying is the adults are moving towards the quick foods. So one could actually confirm this, and yes, they are a quick food.
I think the problem is with the targeting. We are currently targeting towards kids, but we are supposed to target towards adults who actually want our food, but we're not targeting towards.
That is another part where we are saying, where there is a statement saying that the current foods are targeted towards kids. Again, that is a statement, that is a probable statement which we have to confirm, determine the we have to ask for adults this question. Determine the image of Kellogg's that adults have, because what is written is that adults consider as a children food, right? What is written? What is the exact statement?
Quick foods that require very little or no preparation.
Adults want quick food that requires, so one has to frame a problem confirming this, that determine the preference of adults towards consuming quick food. So the idea is, once you confirm that there is a preference towards consuming quick food, Kellogg's can work on those products that can be quickly prepared, right? And yes, they will have to, because it is written that this also has to be confirmed and solved. Determine and compare the perception of current products of Kellogg's for the adult segment. Then, and one could also put a problem saying that what would be the ideal sort of image, what kind of image would be appropriate for the adults for consuming, let's say, breakfast quick foods. I would not say putting this statement exactly, but the idea is, whenever we are stating a marketing research problem, we have to state in such a way that we could confirm the cause and solve that problem also. Yeah.
Since it is business, current products were being targeted to kids. So here can we, actually it is not mentioned in the study. So can we write that management decision problem will be, should a new product to be introduced targeting the customers?
That's what. Very good. So when I said there will be multiple marketing research problem, it also meant then there were multiple management decision problem. So management decision problem is, one is this one: should we make, or how should we target the adults with our products, or what should be the products that would cater to the adult segment. So there will be multiple management decision problem, and then there will be multiple marketing research problem.
From that marketing decision problem, can we management decision problem, can we formulate like marketing research problem like this way, that to determine the consumer preference and purchase intentions for this newly proposed product targeting the adult customers?
So there is no newly proposed product right now. right? There is no newly proposed product. Yeah, so since there is no newly proposed product as given, we cannot talk about anything at this point of time. Yeah.
I think one problem is to get out of the slump in the market, like MDP.
Yeah. What should be done to increase the sales?
That is the most basic.
Yeah, so that is the problem, that is the major problem which is Kellogg's is facing. And even that is even if you don't state any other management decision problem, even that would become the major management decision problem, only single, and you can have multiple marketing research problems, because all the other marketing research problems are going to focus on improving the management business, the business issue that management is facing. So I used to give this Kellogg's case in the end term. In the end term, I used to give this Kellogg's case for this particular course, Research for Marketing Decisions, and one needed to write the multiple marketing research problems corresponding to the various symptoms or statements mentioned in the case, because it is more similar to what would happen in the real life. You will be given many statements, the convergence might not be there towards a single probable cause, there might be one or two, and then you would need to frame the marketing research problem separately for both probable causes. It could be that both are the problems and you have to find solution. It could be that one will be confirmed as a problem and solution would be found. If the time and money is not there, focus on the major ones. Let's say the convergence is towards 2 or 3, but one is the major which is echoed by all the 4 people that come as a part of interview processes, experts, customers, secondary data, and so on. If there is a convergence towards one particular major one, then, and depending upon whether you have time and money to frame the marketing research problem and solve it for all of them, you can. If it is not, if that money and time is not there, focus on the major one and solve it, confirm it and solve it. But ideal is, yes, whatever came as the probable causes, you frame the marketing research problem for them, confirm and solve.